Hi, I'm Mike Cherniffsky, and you're listening to This Podcast is Uncalled For. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the podcast, and welcome to what I hope is the last bonus episode we do for this particular season. Don't worry, I'm not retiring the concepts at all because it's fun. But I did promise a review of the UFL season, the United Football League season of 2024. For those of you who have been living under a rock the past few months, allow me to explain. So, going into this year, there were two spring football leagues: the United States Football League and the XFL. And the two leagues merged to form the UFL. The season started late March, and will have finally wrapped up by the time you're hearing this in mid-June with all the playoffs and stuff. So we'll break this down into three parts, reviewing the teams. Part one will be the teams that didn't make the playoffs, all four of them. Ranking them backwards from 8 all the way to ultimately 1. Part 2 will be the two teams that lose in the conference finals, and the last bit will be the two teams in the championship game being held in St. Louis at the Dome. So a little history about both of these constituent leagues. So we'll start with the USFL, which the first incarnation of the USFL was in the 80s, 1983 to 85, as a spring league. In fact, all the teams from the USFL side, with one notable exception, which we will, of course, talk about, trace their heritage to the USFL of the 80s. And that league, there are two teams that's won it all. One, the Michigan Panthers, who, surprise, surprise, are one of the teams that are in the UFL now. So the other is the Stars, both in Philadelphia and Baltimore. They're one of the teams that's put on hiatus. Oh, I'm going to get to that. So it was a pretty good spring league. Emphasis on spring, because trying to move to fall, that's where they messed up. How good are we talking about? Well, here's some of the players who were in the USFL who went on to have Hall of Fame NFL careers. Jim Kelly, Sam Mills, Reggie White, Steve Young, Gary Zimmerman. Also of note is one Herschel Walker. Not so much for his recent history, but he was a pretty darn good football player. But yeah, they wound up folding after 3 seasons because they stupidly to say, yeah, we're going to compete directly with the National Football League and move to the fall. So not only did that not happen, they did win an antitrust lawsuit against the NFL and got a grand total of $3 and some change. You heard that correct, $3. And the guy who spearheaded that, well, hopefully by the time this comes out, he will be put in jail for yeah, projecting and saying that 2020 was rigged. I don't need a name who it is. You probably already guessed by now. The USFL returns in 22, I want to say, with 8 teams. Again, all of them with heritage names from the USFL in the 80s. And the league was run by Fox. They decided that first year, still pandemic times, so understandable from that perspective. They ran all of their games in Birmingham, Alabama. Then year 2, last year, rolls around, they keep this hub system where you have multiple teams playing games in a handful of cities. Not necessarily the city their name is attached to. Birmingham was one of those hubs, along with Memphis and Detroit and Canton, Ohio. In the case of Canton, neither team was attached to the city, really. So that's league number 1, and all you need to know about which teams survived the merger. Well, which teams were literally hosting their own teams last year: Birmingham, Detroit, and Memphis. Houston we'll get to in just a little bit. League number 2, the XFL. So the first incarnation of the XFL in 2001 was a bit of a sideshow, bit of a wrestling sideshow, founded, of course, by Vince McMahon, as was the 2020 edition. So here were the team names from the original XFL in 2001. You had teams in Birmingham and Memphis, the Thunderbolts and the Maniacs, respectively. You had the Chicago Enforcers, the New York, New Jersey Hitmen, the Orlando Rage, the Las Vegas Outlaws, the LA Extreme, and the San Francisco Demons. It lasted all of 1 year. Again, it's more sideshow than actual football, though there was pretty good football in that league. And it was the LA Extreme won it that 1 year. What was notable about this league, from my point of view, was, as a fan, was they had instead of the first of all, the kickoff was replaced with you have 2 receivers scrambling for the football to determine possession. Okay, that's it. No point after touchdowns. This is a rule that actually exists in the UFL. Actually. And I was going to say, yeah, jerseys, traditionally you have your last name on your jersey. But in this version of the XFL, you could put whatever the fuck you wanted on your jersey, well, provided it was safe for television, of course. And one guy in particular comes to mind. His name is Rod Smarts. He was a running back for the Las Vegas Outlaws. He had the name He Hate Me on his uni, and that was what he was best known for. So yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff. Like I said, it lasted a year because, again, felt more like a sideshow. 2020 comes around, the XFL is revived with a different slate of teams altogether. These would be the teams that would form the XFL side of things in today's UFL. It is taken a lot more seriously this time around. Of course, 2020 was the first year. Halfway through the season, we know what happened. The league was forced to shut down. McMahon sells, and some guy named Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, along with his ex-wife and some venture capitalists, they decided to buy the league and start it back up, and they did so last year, 23. And this is the XFL that's wound up being part of the merger. And of course, one of the teams, and this is my interest in this league, one of these teams in this league is the St. Louis Battlehawks. So the merger happens, and a few teams have to go bye-bye, with the understanding that they could be brought back with expansion and all that. In fact, my understanding is that it was one of the conditions of this merger happening because one of the partners is Fox and is publicly traded. That there are certain things they have to do because players and refs unions are involved here as well. That they cut down from 16 teams total to just 8. So part of the merger, was they had to start expanding pretty much right away to get those jobs back. So yeah, we'll see what happens this offseason. I mentioned Canton earlier. I would not be surprised if Canton is one of the cities that gets a team this first round of expansion, just because I've heard Canton mentioned frequently in that discussion. So, as a result of the merger, we have an 8-team league for the 2024 season. The leagues exist now as conferences within the United Football League. The XFL conference, that's the more straightforward of the two. You have the Arlington Renegades, Arlington, Texas, Dallas-Fort Worth area, which is important because A, they were the XFL champs from last year, and B, Arlington is the training hub, so they use a training hub model where all the teams train in the Dallas-Fort Worth area during the week, and then for game days they'll fly out to the different cities and play. This is what the XFL did under Mr. Johnson, by the way. You have the DC Defenders, who were the runners-up in the XFL last year, Washington, D.C. And they have they're one of the two XFL teams that survived. They have a really good fan tradition, and I'm, of course, talking about Beer Snakes here. Also surviving were my St. Louis Battlehawks. We've led the XFL in attendance, not even close. It wasn't even close. And we're leading the UFL in attendance. Again, not even close. Not even close. The closest team would be DC, and they trail us by 20,000 a game. So yeah, and if you must know why St. Louis is able to have such good fan support, well, remember we had an NFL team literally lied out of town. So this is our fan base's way of saying, "Hey, NFL, you screwed up," and as a result, we're taking our business to the UFL, to the Battlehawks. And the fourth team to survive on the XFL side of things is the San Antonio Brahmas, who were brought in with Johnson buying the league, and effectively they replaced a team that was originally in LA. So, yeah, LA must just be a baseball town then. That's the knock on St. Louis, of course. So there, Arlington, DC, St. Louis, San Antonio. On the USFL side of things, again, the teams that were hub cities, with the exception of Canton, of course. So Birmingham, so the Stallions, two-time defending champion Birmingham Stallions in the USFL. The Memphis Showboats, who replaced the Tampa Bay Bandits, I believe they replaced in the USFL. The Michigan Panthers, of course, in Detroit. And here's where it gets interesting. So both these leagues had teams in Houston. All right, so what they do, they basically just merged the teams. So roster wise, it was the old Houston Gamblers in the USFL, but they took on the XFL name of Roughnecks, and so they are the Houston Roughnecks. So there you go. Three teams that were originally USFL, and then one team that's a merged team with an XFL name. And that sets the stage for the 2024 season. Now we're going to take a little break here. And when we come back, I will talk about that first group of teams that didn't make the playoffs. Rank them 8 through 5, and tell you what my thoughts are on each and every team in the United Football League. I will go ahead and say a few rules to help you out. Like I said, there's no kicked extra points. I said when you score a touchdown, you then run a play either from the 2-yard line, which scores you an extra point, from the 5-yard line, which scores you 2 extra points, or from the 10-yard line, and that scores you 3 extra points, which is pretty cool. But don't think that kickers aren't part of the game. They're still very much a part of the game. And in fact, there's been some fabulous kicking in this league, which I'll talk about when we talk about the individual teams. The pace of the game is a lot faster than an NFL game. In fact, a UFL game will finish just under 3 hours, whereas an NFL game will take just a tad more. With replays, they are fully transparent on replay. So if you're watching on TV, you'll see them and you'll hear them go through penalties and challenges and everything, which you never see in the NFL. So I really appreciate that they do that. And yeah, it's just a fun league to get behind. And I really do hope that it succeeds for the long term. And that I continue to have a team to root for. So, caca's the law. Let's go Bellhawks. Anyway, let's go ahead and take our break. And we will be back with our non-playoff teams.
Gonna pound the ground, make it quake. Houston's on the rise, feel the stakes. In the heart of Texas, where the fire's hot, Roughnecks ready, giving all we got. Drill, baby, drill, till the victory's ours. Lift 'em up, show 'em our power. In the stands of roar, for the red and blue. Houston's pride, shining through. Battles on the field, fight with might. Every roughneck here on the stadium lights. Drill, baby, drill, till the victory's ours. Lift 'em up, show 'em our power.
Okay, so here come our ratings, and to break it up, each team was given a fight song based on the team name and a couple of key phrases that are used in the fandoms. And we'll give a shout out to Suno.com. That's SUNO. They do AI music. I know I swore off AI, but only in terms of writing material for us. So let's get on with these ratings. And unfortunately, at number 8, it is the most don't mess with Texas of the Texas teams, theme wise. The Houston Roughnecks, who finished 1 win, 9 losses. Now, what do I mean by the don't mess with Texas? Well, their colors are pretty much the Texas state flag colors of red, white, and blue. The helmets, they kind of do a Pittsburgh Steelers type thing with the Texas flag, where the right side is all blue with their logo, which kind of resembles the oil towers of the old Houston Oilers, except much shorter and much wider, with heavy emphasis on the H. And the left side is the white stripe on top of the red stripe with the jersey number on there. 1 and 9, and their only win was over Arlington. Not a great year for the Roughnecks. This was, of course, the compromise merged team of the league. So for context, both the XFL and the USFL had teams in Houston. Prior to the merger, the XFL had the Roughnecks, the USFL had the Gamblers. And along with the two leagues merging, these two teams merged. So they kept the Roughnecks XFL identity, but everything else about the team was USFL Gamblers. And the rationale behind that is because the USFL had been using hub cities. Houston was not one of them. But the XFL, all the teams were playing in their home cities, and the Roughnecks were actually playing in Houston. Prior to the merger, the Roughnecks were playing at the University of Houston. But this past year, because of construction happening at U of Houston, they moved their home games to Rice University. For those of you who are not familiar with Houston, you go southeast of downtown for the U of Houston, southwest for Rice. In fact, you have to pass Rice to get to the Astrodome, which still stands, by the way. And having lived in the Houston area for about a week, and getting to drive around that great city, which Houston's nice, but it's even more spread out at KC and contained within a single county. But anyway, I found the University of Houston to be far more open to the public, whereas Rice got the feeling that stay the F away type deal. And I think that move may have hit attendance significantly, as they finished with an average crowd of 7,056 at Rice University, which is not good. It also doesn't help that they only won one game. So there's talk that they'll move back to University of Houston next year, and I hope they do. If that helps with their attendance, I'm all for it. But yeah, not much to write home about. So number 8, the Houston Roughnecks.
Game time is here. Showtime, I cheer. Fields ablaze. Let's start the craze. Fans in a roar. See us score. Memphis pride. We will not hide. Go Bulls, fight through day and night. Strength and speed, we're in the lead. Under the lights, no fear in sight. Champions rise with fire in our eyes. Go Bulls, fight through day and night. Strength and speed, we're in the lead. Our club stands strong. Together we belong. Hearts in sync. Victory's on the brink.
And at number 7 is the Memphis Showboats. Team colors, navy blue and gold. The logo is a speeding riverboat. That's what a showboat is. It's a riverboat. They finished with a grand total of 2 wins and 8 losses, and both of those wins were against Houston. One at the first week of the season, one at the last week of the season. They too struggled with attendance. In fact, you will notice that the XFL conference teams did a hell of a lot better than the USFL teams in terms of attendance. Memphis was dead last in the league in attendance at 6,893 on average. So when the season started, this was a very hyped up team. All right, no question about it. And I think a little too overhyped. People are talking, oh, they'll win the conference or they'll win the league and everything. Aside from a couple of really good players, my understanding is they had the worst offensive line in the entire UFL. Which, well, you're not going to win many games without a good offensive line. I hope they address that in the off season. And they clearly need to address marketing the team better. I mean, you got to do better than 6,000. I would expect, and this is going to be a challenge to the other teams that finished below this mark. Try to get to at least 10K on average next year and the years to come. Because that is fucking embarrassing. Right. So that's a real brief. Number 7, the Memphis Showboats.
We roll through the shadows, no fear in the night. We fight with the spirit, renegades in the light. With fire in our veins, we never back down. On Arlington stage, we're claiming the crown. Full throttle, let's go. Raise hell for the win. We're the renegades, we'll do it again. With every heartbeat, we push to the line. Our powers unrivaled, our fates intertwined. Stand up to the roar, let our pride be known. Together as one, this fight is our own. Full throttle, let's go. Raise hell for the win. We're the renegades, we'll do it again. Stand up to the north, let our pride be known. Together as one, this fight is our own. Full throttle, let's go. Raise hell for the win. We're the renegades, we'll do it again.
At number 6, finishing with 3 wins, 7 losses, the defending XFL champion Arlington Renegades. So yeah, they came in to the merger as the champion of one of the 2 leagues, but with a bit of a caveat. They finished 4-6 during the XFL year, and were the team that benefited from the same playoff system that hosted St. Louis. Attendance for the Renegades, were they're the only team in the XFL conference to finish below 10K in attendance. They finished just shy of it, 9,887 at what I refer to as the prison of Arlington. I'm sorry, if you don't want me making the prison joke, then don't build a fucking stadium that resembles a prison. Alright? I would say the Renegades were a snake-bitten team, and here's why. A lot of those 7 losses could have easily gone the other way. They did beat St. Louis later in the season, but early in the season, week 2 of the season, they could have easily beaten St. Louis, but didn't. A lot of their losses are exactly that. Not being able to capitalize on really close games. and I think their first win actually was against Memphis. So yeah, here's hoping they do a little better next year. It's just not too much better, you know. I want to beat these guys a little more consistently, you know what I'm saying? So, number 6, Arlington Renegades.
In the heart of DC, where the battles rage, we stand tall together, turn a brand new page. With the crowd behind us, red and white we cheer. Shields up, we're ready, this is our year. Shields up, DC defenders, we fight with pride and might. Feed the beast and carry on through the day and night. Fields are our fortress, opponents can't compete. We own this city, in victory we made. Every tackle strong, every pass on point. Defenders rise together, go through this joy. Hear the crowd, it's roaring, every chant so clear. Shields up now, we rally, feed the beer snake here. The crowd behind us, in red and white we cheer. Shields up, we're ready, this is our year. Shields up, DC defenders, we fight with pride and might. Feed the beast and carry on through the day and night. The fields are our fortress, opponents can't compete. We own this city, in victory we lead. Every day and night, feed the beer snake here. Every tackle strong, every pass on point. Defenders rise together and go through this joint. Hear the crowd, it's roaring, every chant so clear. Shields up now, we rally, feed the beer snake here.
And number 5. Number 5 with 4 wins, 6 losses. Howard Bay Rifles, the home of the famous Beer Snake, the DC Defenders. Yeah, we actually beat DC on both occasions this year, so that's good. Yeah. So DC, I think, solid team, and all that solid QB play. After St. Louis, the best team in attendance. So DC's attendance was 14,143 on average, which, especially for the stadium they play in, they play in a soccer-specific stadium for the MLS side. They do a heck of a good job filling that place up. And of course, that's the best. That's just second best fan culture. Gotta get some love to my Bauhaus. Second best fan culture in the entire UFL, and of course the manifestation of that is the Bear Snake. All right, how cool is that? Drink a beer, put it in the snake. Drink a beer, put it in the snake, and that shit gets pretty darn long. I think from the bottom of the stands all the way to the top, and they do it right, and it's all good fun. I was really expecting DC to make the playoffs this year. Obviously, that didn't happen. But I am happy to say that all the playoff teams, which will be coming up next, all the playoff teams finished above 500. All right. So keep up the good work. Better luck next year. We hope to have a couple more good games against you guys. So number 5, DC Defenders.
Downlocks take the field, pride we defend. Cowards the law, we fight till the end. Raise up the shield, together we stand. Crawling out, we shout, this is our land. Cowards the law, we rise and we soar. Battle hawks, we shine stronger than before. In the dome we roar, blue and gray we flaunt. No one tears us down, stadium our hearts. From kickoff to the end, victory in sight. Cow is the law, we own the night. Cow is the law, we rise and we soar. Battle hawks, we shine stronger than before. In the dome we roar, blue and gray we flaunt. No one tears us down, stadium our hearts. From kickoff till the end, victory in sight. Cacao is the law, we own the night. Cacao is the law, we rise and we soar. Battle hawks, we shine stronger than before.
That's number 4. I can't believe I'm having to put them here. But I kind of have to. I wish we could have been 1 or 2 on this list, but we are number 4 on the list, the St. Louis Battlehawks. 7-3 record, so pretty darn good. We made the playoffs, but lost in the playoffs, despite having the home field, but at least we got to the playoffs. That's the important thing. We were screwed last year in the XFL. And Arlington obviously capitalized on said screwing. But I'm glad we at least got the opportunity. I did see most Battlehawk games this year, and I got a solid team overall, especially when AJ McCarron has been healthy. Good receivers. Before the season started, the experts said we were Grass on Turf 2.0, which is apt because it's in the same stadium. It's in the dome. You know? And we had some pretty darn good receivers this year. Hakeem Butler was most notably Offensive Player of the Year. You know, Darius Shepard, Blue Springs High, represent, and a few other guys. You know, solid offense. Although that line could have used a little work, especially in that playoff game. And defensively, pretty solid as well. I think we were among the league leaders in turnovers and everything. And at the moment I'm recording this, and yeah, they're still a little pissed off that We lost in the playoffs. One of them, but I will give a lot of credit to the team that beat us. All right, they came prepared. We frankly did not. All right, but and a lot of people are pissed off at Anthony Beck, the head coach. I thought he did a solid job for 2 seasons in a row in the XFL and now in the UFL. Could it get better? Absolutely. Could the other coaches get better? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So it'll be interesting to see what happens this off season. Granted, some of these guys are good enough that they'll get NFL opportunities. I mentioned Hakeem Butler. All right, he's already got an invite to work out with an NFL team. Same with Jacob Sailors, our running back, who was a really good running back for us this year. All right. So, all right. Attendance on average 34,365. That leads the league by 20,000. 20,000. DC is the next closest. Like I said, they were playing at the Dome. That's about half the Dome. Right there. The Dome at America Center seats 67,000 for football. And the very first game of the season, we set an attendance record 40,317. That is the modern spring football record for attendance. All right, and we pride ourselves on the attendance. This is our way of telling the NFL, you fucked up. All right, in 2016, you fucked up when you allowed Stan to lie the Rams out of St. Louis. All right, you fucked up, and we'll show you. So, and that has been the case since the first incarnation of the current XFL in 2020, the abbreviated season, unfortunately. That was the case last year with the XFL, and that is certainly the case this year with the UFL. All right. And yes, the Cronky hate is still strong with me and with anyone that's really in the Battlehawk fandom. So, unfortunately, number 4 on our power rankings list is the St. Louis Battlehawks. Let's have a better season next year. And remember, Kaka is low.
In the heart of the city, where the battles are won, Michigan Panthers roaring. Let's hunt till the day's done. Claws sharp in the sunlight, ready for the fight. We stand tall together. All is the Lord tonight. Roar loud, let them hear us now. Panthers on the prowl. Let's hunt. Paul is the Lord. In the shadows we gather, strength in every stride. With them hear us now. Panthers on the prowl. Let's hunt. Paul is the law. Together we stand, unbreakable band. Roll with me, united and free. Roll loud, let them hear us now. Panthers on the prowl. Let's hunt. Paul is the law.
So at number 3 is the reason I can't put the Battlehawks at 3, and that is the Michigan Panthers. So at the beginning of the season, I don't think anyone was expecting much of Michigan. No real name players. They're projected to finish last in the USFL, if not the league. And they just win, baby. They did wind up going through 4 different quarterbacks during the course of the year, and they beat us the very first game of the season. But hats off to Jake Bates, their kicker, 64-yarder to beat us. And I hope that kid gets looked at by the NFL, but they just kept winning. And a big part of it is, they always say defense wins championships. Well, defense did a lot of the heavy lifting for the Panthers. Color scheme wise, I think they have the more interesting color schemes. I haven't been talking about color schemes for a couple teams now, but let's go and rectify that right now. So Arlington, get rid of that light blue, sky blue bullshit. You're not Manchester City, otherwise it's just ugly. That's why I don't like the old Houston Oilers uniforms. Just ugly. DC, solid red and white color scheme. For the Battlehawks, it's royal blue and silver. Do not confuse us with the Cowboys. For Michigan, they do Aston Villa colors, basically the Clareton blue. And they were interesting. They played their home games in 24 at Ford Field, home of the Detroit Lions. Which you would think they'd be putting up Battlehawk-like numbers, but no. Average attendance for Michigan home games, 8,134. This is a team that finished 7-3 in the regular season. They should be trying better than that, but again, you look at those attendance numbers, you will see a trend. The XFL conference did a lot better job putting butts in seats than the USFL conference, and that clearly shows here. Now, I had read recently that for 25 they were entertaining moving the team out of Ford Field somewhere else within the state of Michigan, so they're not exclusively married to Detroit, even though Detroit is the biggest city in Michigan. They were talking about possibly Michigan State or even the University of Michigan, both of which would be mistakes if you're only drawing 8,000. Here's why. Ford Field seats about 65, I want to say. Michigan State is 75. University of Michigan, well over 100,000. That would easily dwarfs even the Dome. If you're only drawing 8,000 a game, you have absolutely no business playing in a venue that holds 100,000. I would suggest they look at smaller venues. I've heard Eastern Michigan might be an ideal size for them. Or I know we're switching sports here, and this is a team that I said pretty much abdicated their rights to call themselves a leader in independent soccer. But talk with Detroit City FC. Their venue is probably the ideal size if you're going to draw 8,000 a game. But I digress. They do need to do a better job of marketing these teams on the USFL side, particularly. I think towards the middle of the season, they're doing better efforts towards that with the Panthers specifically, because the draft was in Detroit this year. They had a tent and the mascots at the draft, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, pleasantly surprised by this team on the field. So number 3, Michigan Panthers.
In the Lord of Texas strong, we gather as one underneath the blazing sun. The battle's just begun. Feel the ground shake, feel the roar. Brahmas charging to the core. Stand tall, never back away. Pride in our hearts every day. Horns forward, courage blend. Vamos, promise till the end. Our strength we carry through. San Antonio, we're with you. Fight with all our might. Every yard we'll claim tonight. Victory in our sight. Vamos, Brahmas, fight, fight, fight. United through and through. Yellow, black, and fierce, it's true. With every win we'll cheer and scream. San Antonio, the ultimate team. Horns forward, courage blend. Vamos, Brahmas till the end. Our strength we carry through. San Antonio, we're with you. Horns forward, courage blend. Vamos, Brahmas till the end. Our strength we carry through. San Antonio, we're with you. Fight with all our might. Every yard we'll claim tonight. Victory in our sight. Vamos, promise, fight, fight, fight. United through and through. Yellow, black, and fierce, it's true. With every win we'll cheer and scream. San Antonio, the ultimate team. San Antonio, we're with you.
So number 2, the runner-up in the championship game, the San Antonio Brahmas. Now, you might ask, what the F is a Brahma? In this particular context, it is a specific breed of cattle. that's known to be quite aggressive. So some of those guys could stand to zip it a little bit. Just saying. Also, this is like Michigan, a team I did not expect to do well at all. All right. Because they were 3-7 last year in the XFL, and B, they brought in Wade Phillips to be their head coach. Now, Wade Phillips is someone I've not thought highly of as a coach since 1999, when he was coaching Buffalo, and famously or infamously benched Doug Flutie with 1 week left in the regular season, which tangentially led to the Music City Miracle. But I will give him props for coaching these guys and getting them as far as they did. They finished 7-3 on the regular season, and of course beat us in the XFL Championship. Attendance-wise, 11,888, which is good enough for third. They could do a little better, I think. The fan base is an interesting one. They clearly muddle themselves. The Alamo is in San Antonio, so I can see them see why they would choose to do Alamo reenactment as part of their fan culture. The most Mexican friendly of the three Texas teams, if you ask me. And no, that's all right. But overall, a decent team. Obviously good enough to get to a championship game. But I digress. Good job by the Brahmas this year. So number 2 on our power rankings, the San Antonio Brahmas. And now on to number 1. And of course, we're at number 1 now, and that would be the now 3-time championship winners, going back to the USFL pre-merger, the Birmingham Stallions. What can I say about Birmingham other than they have achieved over the course of 2 leagues now, twice in the USFL and now with the UFL, they've achieved what the local NFL team is trying to do. That's win 3 in a row. And I just got done watching them win that championship game. They're doing something right in Birmingham, clearly, because you don't do that usually in American sports. They're not 3 years in a row. They finished 9-1 on the regular season, won the USFL Conference Championship, and of course the UFL Championship. So credit to Skip Holtz, the coach for Birmingham. He's done a masterful job there, obviously. And I don't usually give props to K-State guys on the match because I'm not a fan, but I will give props to a K-Stater by the name of Adrian Martinez, who is the Stallions QB for most of the year. Won league MVP and championship MVP this year, so he must be doing something right, and I hope he gets looked at by NFL teams over this offseason. So, yeah, that's all the teams in the UFL. That's our power rankings. So, to recap, Birmingham 1, San Antonio 2, Michigan 3, St. Louis 4, DC 5, Arlington 6, Memphis 7, Houston 8. I'm really excited about the 2025 season. And I know that 2025 season is going to happen, as throughout the course of the season, everyone's pleased with how things have turned out, and they do need to work on getting the word out better, getting butts in seats, and everything. Before I close, I forgot. Birmingham's attendance was 10 to 55 on average, putting it 4th in the league. And as I mentioned, the local team earlier, their quest to three-peat. A lot of Birmingham's fans are doing their best Jason Kelsey impressions by taking their shirts off and all that. It's important to bring that up as well. So we're starting to see fan bases find identities, whether it's impersonating Jason Kelsey or being Alamo reenactors or your beer snakes or hashtag Cronky out. You know, every team's different. Every team's developing their own thing. And I hope to see more of that in the coming year. I'm also expecting at least 2 more teams next year. I'm also expecting an earlier start date on the season. As last weekend of March, that's just a little too late for me. Let's bring it a little closer to the old XFL starts, if not exactly the XFL starts, which is the weekend after the Super Bowl. All right. So I do want to once again give a shout out to Suno.com, Suno.com. It's an AI website that does the music that you heard throughout the course of this episode. I will leave a link on our Facebook page to the playlist of these songs if you want to hear them on your own time. And we use that same website to give you our outro for today, which was just basically some prompts to make a theme song for the podcast, and I really like it. I don't know if we're going to actually use it as a theme for the podcast. I'm really happy with the Kevin MacLeod so that we've been using. All right, but I kind of like it. So, and that's how we will close today. So before I fire that music up, this podcast is Uncalled For, is hosted, produced, and directed, edited, all that by myself, Mike Chernevsky. And our opening music is Iron Bacon by Kevin MacLeod at incompetech.com, and that is licensed under Creative Commons Attribution 4.0 license. And all the other music, of course, AI. And yeah, let's give that theme song of ours a listen. So we will talk to you next time.
Check the mic, we're going live. Stories told, they rise and dive. Topics fresh with every spin. You won't guess what's coming in. Every week a new surprise. Minds awake, never lies. Conversations bold and free. Tune in now, just wait and see. This podcast is uncalled for. Can't you see there's so much more? Laughs and tales you can't ignore. A journey that will leave you floored. In the night or in the day, just press play, we're on our way. Voices sharp, opinions bright, talking through the day and night. Guests and hosts in perfect blend. You won't want this ride to end. From the start till it's done, welcome all, just join the fun. This podcast is uncalled for. Can't you see there's so much more? Laughs and tales you can't ignore. A journey that will leave you floored. Yeah, yeah. This podcast is uncalled for. Can't you see there's so much more? Laughs and tales you can't ignore. A journey that will leave you floored. You floored. A journey that will leave you floored.
If you are in the United States or Canada, you can call us at 816-832-5160. Leave your message or question for us, and if we like it, we will play it on the podcast. Please support the podcast and purchase our exclusive Uncalled For merchandise. T-shirts, sweatshirts, mugs, stickers, and so much more. Go to www.cafepress.com/uncalledforpod. Thank you so much for listening. We will see you next time.